Hardworking Mom, and today I'm going to show you how you can assemble the Easy Bow Maker. And this is something we sell on our website. So when you get the Easy Bow Maker, you're just going to take it out of the white package it comes in. Okay. You're going to have a set of dowels. You're going to have your Easy Bow Maker itself, and it comes with a little booklet of instructions. But I think it's important that I show you exactly how to put this together so that you can ensure that it is not going to come apart once you start working with it. So you want to pull off this orange sticker. This section right here has 3 dowels in it. This tall, thinner one is going to go for your spool holder. These two, which are matched, and this one is all going to go in these 3 holes. The smaller one is going to go in the front, and these 2 are going to go in the back. You're going to need a hammer or a mallet. I really prefer a hammer just because it is a little bit easier to pound it in with a hammer. I like to add a little glue on as well. So you have several options with glue. You can use E6000. You can also use wood glue. This is wood. Or you could use your hot glue. So whichever one you choose, I tend to like to put just a little bit of the E6000 in it. I just put a tiny little drop inside there. Just like that. I'm going to start with this front peg. You want to make sure you're using this front peg because what's going to happen is this is going to keep these other 2 pegs from coming out. You are going to have to hit it strongly, but you can see it goes right down in there pretty easily with a hammer. It's not going to come out, it's in there tight. So you can see these have a little bit of a rounded edge here. So you just want to put it in and just, but you can see how easily it goes in if you use a hammer. So I really do highly suggest, and you can see how much it went down. Okay. You make sure they're in there tight. You see how this keeps it, this little piece here, keeps these 2 from popping out. So that's very important. So you have space down here to put your ribbon. All right, and then we're going to put the spool holder in. Don't hit your hand. All right, so let me show you some of the features of this bow maker. One of the things that I really love about this bow maker is it has your measurements on it. So it makes it much easier to get consistent bows. Also, on the outer edge, there is another set of lines. This actually goes out to the 12. So you can see this bow maker from here to the center is 12 inches, and from here to the end is 8 inches. So we're going to get out some ribbon, and I'm going to show you how to use. So the types of ribbon that you can use on this bow maker, you can use unwired ribbon. I do suggest you use wired ribbon if you're going to do anything other than maybe a little girl's hair bow. So little girl's hair bows, you definitely want to use the unwired ribbon, but for the other projects, I really like to use the wired ribbon. It's going to hold up a lot better, and it's just going to look better over time. Okay, so I like to do a dovetail. All you do is put these together and you cut towards the edge that has the wire on it. And the great thing is you can use these marks to measure out your tails and your loops. So I'm going to make this 8 inches. So I'm going to pinch it here. I'm going to place this down right inside the bow maker. The first few times it might be a little stiff, so you can just kind of pull these out gently. When I get to the center, I'm going to twist it, and I'm going to go to the 6 inch. So that's my favorite. So 6 inch. So 6-inch loops is approximately the great measurement for ones that just go in wreaths. If you're going to do a large grapevine, I would go to 7. But the 6-inch loop is going to be kind of your mainstay, what you will use consistently. So one thing I want to point out is that we have a patterned ribbon, and you can see the ladybugs are going in different directions. One of the great things about using a bow maker is you can put your loops out, and then you can take this whole piece and twist it over in order to get that pattern going in the right direction. This is much harder in your hand. This will save your hand. If you have problems with your hands, if you just get tired of holding bows, this is really going to help you a lot. So we're going to do 3 loops with our ladybug here. Okay. This ladybug is going to go down at the bottom, so I am not terribly worried about her direction because these two at the bottom kind of look like they're going in the same direction. I'm only going to twist the one in the middle. This just saves you a little bit of time. Okay, so this one's in the middle. We have one at the top, one at the bottom. So again, there we go. So you can see how these are going in the same direction because they're both at the top. Okay, so we have our 3 loops, you can see here, and you see how everything looks great with our ladybug because these are going in this direction, these this direction, and these look like they're going across. Okay, so we'll pull in some large polka dots here. So this bow that I'm making is called a 3-2-1 bow. The reason it's called that is because there's 3 loops. Then we're going to do 2 loops, and then we're going to do 1 loop. So that makes it 3-2-1. So I can use either the loops that I already made, or I can move them and I can use the measurement on the board again. I can also see the measurement here on the sides. So I want 2 loops with this bow, with this ribbon. Okay. Okay. These are going to go in between the 3 loops. So you can see with 3 loops, there's a space in between the first and second and the second and third. So that's where that second loop will go. So you see you can move it out already on your bow maker, or you can wait till the end. There is no perfect or imperfect way to do it. Then we'll come in with one last, and this one will be a 1 loop bow. And that will give us our 3-2-1. So now if you hear someone say measurements like 3-2-1, 2-1-2-1, you'll know it's just based on the number of loops. There are multiple ways that you can tie your bow off. I will show you a couple different ways. The first way I'm going to show you is using a zip tie. So you would take your zip tie and you would run it underneath one whole side. You want to get it started. If you have trouble with your hands, I highly suggest the zip tie. If you have trouble getting things tied on tightly, then the zip tie is the way to go. Okay, we will grab a pipe cleaner. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold it loosely while I run the zip tie around the back. Now I'm going to push that down, and I'm going to put my pipe cleaner right here underneath my zip tie. Now I can pull my zip tie very tight. It's tight as I can make it. And I can use all 3 of these, so my 2 pieces of pipe cleaner and my zip tie, so that I can fluff it out. You can also put it on your project and fluff it out. But what I like to do is, you can see when we tie it, it gets a little bit stuck down in the center. So we're going to take it and we're going to break that center. I call this breaking the bow. You just twist and pull, and all that does is help it so that it can fluff out as much as possible. So you always want to start from the bottom and work your way up. I especially like to do this with the one that we twisted, just so there aren't any little pieces that are stuck down in there. You can also physically just pull any piece that is kind of stuck in the wrong way. You want to run your hands under your ties. These are your tails down here. And I said ties, I mean tails. Okay? But you can see how much more fluff you can get if you are breaking that bow and pulling it apart. Just like this. Okay? So this is a 3-2-1 bow. You can curl up these little ties. You just use your thumbs. It's a really great way to do it. And you're just kind of loosely rolling it around your thumb, and then pull it out gently, right from the middle. Loosely roll around your thumb, pull it out. Okay. And this one just does a nice little curl. Okay, so we have our first bow. Okay, this is the 3-2-1. Make this a little bigger. Okay, so you can see how nice and fluffy the back is. Now I can take off the zip tie, being careful not to cut the pipe cleaner. All right, and then this is ready for a wreath. It's ready for a mailbox. It's ready for any project that you have. All right. The next one we're going to do with some floral wire. So you can get floral wire and these long pre-cut strands. So just to show you that you do not have to use a specific size of ribbon, we're going to do one with all 1.5 inch ribbon. So this is 1.5 inch ribbon, and we're going to do a 5 ribbon bow. So I'm just going to take this first piece. I'm going to measure it on this side so I can get 12 inches. I'm going to place that right down in the center. I am twisting so you can see when you twist, the ugly side of the ribbon is going to come up. So this one is on a 50-yard roll, so I kind of keep it outside, but I make sure I have plenty of ribbon to work with, so I just pull it out of the spool. Okay? We're going to start off at 7 inches. And there's a reason we're starting there. So what we're going to do as we add loops is we're going to go down in size. So just like here. You can do 1 or 2 loops with each ribbon. I'm kind of going to do 2 loops, 1 loop, 2 loops, 1 loop, but we're going to use 5 different ribbons. Okay, so that's the first one. Just trim it off. Okay, this is going to be our second ribbon. Okay, so we'll do 1 loop of this. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to place it down in here. I'm going to do 1 loop at 7 inches. Okay. There we go. Pull that out, trim it off. Now we're going to go to the next one. Okay. On this one, we're going to put it in, twist. So you always want to twist in the middle. And we're going to go to the 6 inch. So I can just move my ribbon aside and I can find that 6 inch. Remember, you always want to have plenty of ribbon pulled out. That's what's going to help you not struggle. Okay? Same thing on the other side. You remember, you can also measure it here on the sides. Okay, so 1 loop of this, 2 loops of this. Then our next one will have 1 loop. Then we'll do 2 loops again and 1 loop again. Okay. I will say, if you will go ahead and start to pull your ribbons apart while they're in the bow maker, it's going to make it much easier for you to fluff it when the time comes to take it out and fluff it, because it's already going to be pretty much where you want it. Okay. Oh, that's too long. Just double checking my loops, make sure they're all correct. Okay. Alright, so this next one, we're going to do 1 loop. Okay. So 1 loop at 6 inches. Okay. I'm using my finger so that I can make sure I have the right measurement. I find it a little bit easier to do that. Alright, then we're going to do 2 loops with this. Alright, so we are once again going to go down in size. Okay, so now I want to go to the 5 inch. So this is where using my finger is really going to come in handy. So I can kind of hover over the 5 inch with my finger there and just kind of make sure that I have it on the right spot. Just like that. And then I can kind of use these to make sure they're the same size. Okay. I will do another one at 5 inches. Then I'll go ahead and start spread them out once I've done that second one. Okay. This is all wired ribbon. Okay. And this will be our last one. Actually, I think we'll do this one. I think this matches a little bit better. Okay. So now we're just doing 1 loop again at the 5 inches. Okay. There we go. Okay, so you can see we have quite a bit in here. So now I'm going to take this wire. So I'm going to take one of these wires, I'm going to run it underneath and pull it up. All I want to do is make sure that the bow is not going to come loose when I take it out. So I'm going to take it out. I want to loosely hold it, and I'm going to move this wire around to the back. Okay, and once I have both sides of the wire, I'll kind of put it in between my fingers like this. Okay, and then I'm going to make sure that my loops are still where I want them to be. I'll pull all of my tails out front. Just going to make sure that my loops haven't gone somewhere I don't want them to go. So especially the bottom can tend to want to pull out as you are getting your bow ready. And what you're going to do is you're going to hold this wire and you're going to turn your bow and not your wire. You want it to be pretty tight. You don't want it to be so tight that you're going to cut your wire in half, but you want it to be very tight. All right. So wire is especially great if you're going to do grapevines or things like that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to fluff it out. So very similar to fluffing it out the other way, you want to pull your loops twist them, pull, twist and pull. Okay. The only difference is you're going to have to hold your wire tight while you do this. Okay. There we go. You can also use pliers to make sure these are tight if you're having any trouble at all. Just remember that's there as well. This is our 5-ribbon bow. So let's curl these up a little bit. Pull these out, make sure they're where I want them to be. I do find this easier to do on a flat surface if I'm using a wire. If you've tightened it well, it's not going to come loose. Okay. There we go. All right, now we're going to curl up these ends. If you don't like them curled, you can just run your hands under the bottom. I really like them curled. It is also okay if you have different lengths in your tails. There we go. All right, and we have bow number 2 done. Okay, so this is bow number 2. This is bow number 1. So you can see there's really no difference in what you use as far as how to attach it together. So we have our wire in the back here, we have our pipe cleaners in the back here, and either way you can see it is really going to make a stunning bow using this bow maker. I have tons of other videos on how to make bows, so make sure to check those out. And don't forget to look in your packets because there are instructions on how to make different types of bows that actually come with your bow maker. So there's things such as a tree topper bow, there is a pew bow, and it tells you how many loops you need and what the size is. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed this, and let me know if there's something else you'd like to see. Thank y'all. Bye, y'all.